Hello and welcome back to Pandering Hour. Today on Pandering Hour, we are going to be looking at Syria, ranked. What is their rank on the Human Development Index? It's not high, and I'm already seeing some stuff in the news about 151, so about 30 from the bottom. Um, there's already stuff about him and Joe Byron going back and forth. So yeah, him. It's just Syria's one guy. It's just him. But let's see. Okay. Let's jump into the interesting. I don't know. Okay, so here's what I want to know about Syria. Does Syria have oil? Is that what the whole thing was about? Like, what was the whole war in Syria about? War in Syria. Because I've never paid attention to politics or the news. I was too busy with Pokemon. Okay, so there's been a civil war going on. Starting November 5th. Wikipedia is not on the market. What? March 2011. Maybe later. Just back the fuck up. Popular discontent with Ba'athist, the Ba'athist government led to a large-scale protest and pro-democracy rallies across Syria as a part of a wider Arab Spring protest in the region. Numerous protests were violently suppressed by security forces in deadly crackdowns ordered by Bashar al-Assad, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths and detentions. The Syrian revolution transformed into an insurgency with the formation of resistance militias across the country, deteriorating into a full-blown civil war by 2012. Okay. Then what was the American involvement? Okay. Oh, we're still at work. Good to know. Since 2014, the United States has conducted periodic airstrikes and maintained hundreds of troops in Syria as a part of a broader counterterrorism efforts against the self-proclaimed Islamic State and Al Qaeda. When were there like weapons of mass destructions? Do you guys remember that? WMDs in in Iraq. That's not Syria, or so I'm told. I think my contrast is too high. My eyes look black. So does my hair. Let's see. Hundreds of troops in Syria as a part of a broader counterterrorism effort. The legal justification for these counterterrorism wars, which rested on shaky grounds from the start, has become more tenuous as the conflicts have shifted, with IS to territorial defeat in both Syria and Iraq, and new actors having entered the fray. Most notably, the conflict has expanded to include U.S. hostiles against Iranian-backed militia groups supporting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Assad's embattled regime, without explicit congressional authorization or any clear military objective beyond deterring future attacks. Instead, the United States and these militia groups have devolved into a cycle of tit-for-tat strikes. The U.S. military footprint in the northeastern Syria, along sporadic strikes against IS in country, risks bringing the United States into direct military confrontation with pro-Assad forces, including Iran and potentially Russia. Okay, why does Russia support Assad forces? Economic importance and history of arms sales. Russia has been able to showcase its old and new weapons in the conflict, which helps boost its arms sales to 15 billion in 2015. Russian economic interest in Syria including arms sales are offered as one of the reasons for its support of the government. Okay. So they have their own what is that called? The military-industrial complex. So Syria is essentially a battleground for the United States and the Russian military-industrial complex. That's the gist of what I just got. And what's going on here? Joe Biden? Is there a short version of all this? Drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria injured 2 dozen. Okay. Israel versus Hamas. Is Hamas in Syria? U.S. threatens. Let's look that up. Joe Biden threatens Syria. Also, Joe Biden sound clip. Joe Biden soundboard? What is this?
You're a damn liar, man.
Wait, hold on. Can I turn up the volume on this page?
The American people are ready. I am. You're a damn liar, man. Clap for that, you. Come on, man.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son. Like.
My son. This is awesome.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen. You ain't black. You ain't black. You ain't black. You ain't black. You could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
Said sarcastically.
That was
you know that.
Bleach in your arm? Are you out of your fucking mind? What? Did he really say all this shit?
I've been on the ground in Georgia, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and I can tell you in no uncertain terms, this administration's policy has been an abysmal failure.
Okay, I thought he was just gonna say I've been on the ground.
Wait a minute, you get.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Philness. I have a much bigger IQ than you.
I have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Prescription drugs, doctor. This president has a big stick. These times require more than a good soldier. This is no ordinary election. We choose truth over facts. That scares the shit out of me.
I got hairy legs.
I got hairy legs. My state is a border state. That was a productive segment. What are you gonna do? Keep my kids away? What are you gonna do to keep my kids away?
What are you going to do to make sure my kid stays away from drugs, is not put in the position?
Yes, I accept your nomination.
Since I've never been called a man of few words, let me say it as simply as I can. Yes, I accept your... And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
Kids used to rub my legs. What the fuck? Poor kids are just as talented as white kids. What?
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh my god. Oh my god. God. Dude, they don't have like a one that's just like I got the Senate 180 years ago. Next president will rock America. Wow. Okay. Now let's go listen to his
We all know what's happening on our streets is unacceptable. But go back to arresting people struggling with addiction? That's not.
2 new attacks on U.S. facilities in Syria following a deadly drone attack that killed an American contractor and prompted retaliatory airstrikes.
Plus, the U.S. and Canada announcing a new immigration deal that will impact asylum seekers. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is live in Washington, D.C. with the latest. Ben.
Eden, Nicole, President Biden did.
Ben Kennedy looks... He looks goblin-esque, doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of like... Let's go full screen on that. He's got like Spider-Man 1 sort of like Green Goblin vibes. Very Willem Dafoe-like. His ears are pointy. Why are his ears pointy? Are my ears pointy? I got round ears. Hold on. Let me stand like him. Nah, my ears aren't round.
Make clear he does not want to escalate conflict or tension with Iran. That being said, he will respond to protect Americans.
Yesterday, I spoke to our national security team.
He will respond to protect Americans. Why are Americans over there?
In directed airstrikes into Syria, targeting groups.
He talked for like 2 seconds. What did he say?
In directed airstrikes.
Yesterday, I spoke to our national security team.
In directed airstrikes.
That's it? Yesterday, I spoke with our national security team. That was the clearest sentence they could get out
Strikes
of them.
into Syria, targeting groups affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard after a deadly drone attack on a U.S. base.
My heart and deepest condolences go out to the family of the American we lost.
The U.S. military maintains a.
They are like clipping in Joe Biden for like half a second. Okay.
About 900 troops in Syria as part of a coalition to defeat ISIS, but those forces are often under threat by Iranian proxies.
The United States does not emphasize seek conflict with Iran, but be prepared for us to act forcefully, protect our people.
Biden's remarks come during his first presidential trip to Canada.
Good afternoon.
It's there the commander-in-chief addressed Parliament announcing a new immigration deal that allows Canada to send more migrants who cross at unofficial ports of entry at America's northern border back to the U.S. In return, Canada has agreed to allow 15,000
Wait. Hold on. What?
who cross at unofficial ports of entry at American deal that allows Canada to send more migrants who cross at unofficial ports of entry at America's northern border back to the U.S.
Whoa. Wait, what the fuck? Canada's sending Wait, what?
In return, Canada has agreed to allow 15,000 more people from the Western Hemisphere to migrate to Canada legally.
America.
What? Hold on. What? Why? So they're sending illegal immigrants to Canada to the United States and not what? What?
Americans and Canadians are two people, two countries, in my view, sharing one heart.
That sounds like a stupid ass thing to do. And they're like, hey, you tried to immigrate here illegally, so we're sending you to another country. What? Why? That's such a weird thing to do. Why? Can someone explain that to me? That's really confusing. Whatever. Let's just keep it rolling. Just keep it rolling.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
Okay. So that's what's happening in Syria right now. Is there anything that happened like 6 hours? Oh, well, this happened 6 hours ago.
We all know what's happening on our streets is unacceptable. But go back to arresting people struggling with addiction.
See those.
I'm having a Joe Biden day. I'm like slurring my words like crazy.
The types of
I should provide a little bit of background. Hold up. I have been working 2 jobs for the last week. So I'm real tired. I worked till pretty late last night. I'm a door guy at Helium Comedy Club. Woo! As of Thursday, so I've been working my 40 hours a week at my regular job, which is already pretty stressful. And then I'm working another shift, and then I'm getting home late, and then I'm going to work, and then I'm working out, and then I'm going to work, and then I'm getting off work to work out and do this shift. I'm just tired. I'm low on sleep. I'm sad my grandma's not doing good. And I gotta record this podcast for you people. By the way, thank you for all the response on the last podcast. Apparently I just need to put a big fat ass in the thumbnail and you guys will will be like, hey, what's this video? What's this all about? Brunei. Whoa. I really like that. I want to go to the interesting facts, but I feel like it's not, like, this isn't resolved. What is this? Let me see if I can just find, like, an article about, yeah, current situation in Syria. I want to see if there's, like, a, you know, very recent, like, November update. Okay. Here's Al Jazeera. Um, Israel's latest attack on neighboring countries come amidst fear of broader conflict across the Middle East. Record 114 million people displaced globally as wars rage from the Ukraine to Gaza. The number of people, dude, this is World War fucking 3. This is so crazy, man. How close are those areas? Uh, yeah, Syria. Show me on a map. So Syria's right there. Ukraine's right there. That's actually very fucking close. Yeah, there's Israel, there's Ukraine. Both backed by the US. Man, if this has got to get us out of this goddamn recession. But it's not going to. It's really just going to put money in everyone else's pockets, right? If all this is just a big boost for the military-industrial complex of both Russia and the United States, everyone's going to be fucking rich, but the common people. Anyway, and that bums me out. I mean, those are all like our people dying. A lot of Israel stuff. Syria aid workers say Palestinians were often the first to respond when victims of war in Syria needed their help. Oh, what's going on here? White lady. When Asma al-Dahir says this guy, no name, no face from Ali Haj Suleiman. Suleiman, not Suleiman. Um, a pharmacist and aid worker based in Turkey went home to Gaza for a visit just over 2 weeks ago. She had little idea that one of the most brutal military campaigns her besieged home had ever faced was about to begin. Although she was already experienced in providing humanitarian relief to victims of war through her work in Syria with uh, Al-Amin for humanitarian support, Al-Dahir was not prepared for what was to come in Gaza. Um, I've witnessed many wars in my life, but I never any, what? Okay, that wasn't me. That was not a fucking Biden. That was not, you know. Oh, the sounds aren't playing anymore. Fuck. I went to click the sound button, it didn't work. Um, I've witnessed many wars during my life, and I quote, but I never anything like this. The 27-year-old said in a voice message she sent to a colleague in Turkey by WhatsApp. Brought to you by WhatsApp. After being displaced 5 times inside Gaza within a couple weeks, Al-Dahir is now in Rafah on the border with Egypt. In her 5-minute WhatsApp recording, she tried to explain to Yasser al-Taraf the reality she is living. In a trembling, rushed voice as she tried to finish the recording before the internet failed, she said, "These are the worst days for the Palestinian people. Genocide and massacres in the neighborhood." Al-Taraf told Al Jazeera that Al-Dahir has been working around the clock to coordinate with authorities on the ground to get resources and aid where they are needed most. Um, we've witnessed displacement and killing in Syria, so our sympathy with Gaza is great. Al-Amin, a Syrian organization, has been working with the Gaza Strip for the past 2 years, providing humanitarian support and vocational training. Since the bombing began 2 weeks ago, it has focused on helping to distribute food and resources, a matter of life and death for the besieged. There are a number of relief organizations. Okay, let's go back. Let's back up. Okay, so there's beef. There's beef in Syria. To summarize it, um, so that's a fucking problem. Who does Turkey back? Turkey, allies of Turkey. Turkey and the United States are North Atlantic Treaty Organizations and NATO, allied and long-standing partners. We have a proud history of working together. We're their greatest allies. The United States. Okay. But that being said, this seems like a problem. I don't know if you guys feel the problem here, but it feels like a problem. The problem feels like a problem. Because Turkey is friends with Syria, and Syria likes Palestine. Syria likes Palestine as well, right? Isn't that what I was reading? Syrian aid workers say that Palestinians were often the first. Oh no, it's Syria and Palestine, but aren't Syria and Turkey are right there. So these two bros want to help little bro in where? Palestine? Where is Palestine? By the way, I forget that. That's complicated. Where is Palestine? And what's all this shit I keep hearing about, like from the river to the sea, Palestine, from the river to the sea, meaning? What does the Palestine slogan really mean? Critics have called its use anti-Semitic amid Israel's war on Gaza, but the slogan has more complex roots, say analysis. Ooh, you know what I want to look up as well? Israel versus Palestine group interview. What is that? It's by like Cut. I'd probably find it if it was in YouTube. 1 second. Whoa, there's a lot of shit going on. Group talk. Fuck, I gotta find that video. That's really good. World War III is coming. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
If you live in
I want to watch that as well.
Oregon, you could lower your electric bill to less than $30 a month.
By the way,
How?
I'm working on this project called The King of Portland right now, and I gotta say, I figured out why there's no big Joe Rogan type in Portland. Let's go to scene 2. I figured it out. Like, ultimately, I'm really big. The whole thing with Joe Rogan moving to Austin, he's like a new head of the community. But you have to be so big that people underneath you can move and also prosper under you. And I don't think that exists here in Portland. I don't think there's anyone that's here. There's Kyle Kinane here in Portland, but he's not a big social media guy. He doesn't have a big podcast. He doesn't have, a Joe Rogan-like presence. And similar to LA, there's a lot of smaller guys, but no one's like the head of the snake. No one's the top guy. In New York, I guess it could be Schultz. I guess it could be, you have Mark Normand. New York and LA kind of have that same situation going where there's no tip-top guy. You got Santino, Bobby Lee, the Golden Hour guys with like D'Elia and Brendan Schaub. But like the fact that those were the people that I thought of. I mean, Santino and Bobby Lee are huge, but it's not the same as Rogan, Tom Segura, Shane Gillis. Shane fucking like, dude, those are like 3 of the top 5 names in comedy. Well, Bill Burr is still in LA, but he's not in like the comedy space as much as he is in like the production space. Like, he's not doing as many podcasts. He doesn't have the same networking thing that, Tom Segura does. He doesn't create content. He's like moving more into like what to me seems like old media. Like, I mean, not that Netflix is old media, but it's the older format of like movies. Anyway, let's get back to that project's coming up soon. Let's get back to this. What is this river to the sea thing going on? A slogan calling for freedom from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea has drawn scrutiny after pro-Palestinian demonstrators across the Western world were met with attempts to curtail its use. From Beirut to London, from Tunis to Rome, calls for a ceasefire ending Israel's relentless bombing of Gaza were interspersed with the slogan, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." I just want to know what that is, because I do want to look up how realistic is it that there's that much bombing? Like, not realistic. What is real? The Football Association in the UK has banned players from using the slogan on their private social media accounts. I have seen a shitload of like Middle Eastern. I don't know if they're Palestinian, but just like Iranian, Syrian, quote unquote Palestinian. I still don't know what that is. This is so confusing to me. Um, West Bank and Gaza Strip. And Gaza. So does Palestine exist anymore? I'm so confused. Okay. Timeout. I interjected with my own bullshit, and now I'm kind of mixed up and confused. Okay, what is this? What is the history of this saying? What is the origin? Upon its creation by diaspora Palestinians in 1964 under the leadership of Yasser Arafat, the PLO called for the establishment of a single state that extended from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea to encompass its historic territories. The debate over partition predates the formation of the state in State of Israel in 1948. A plan put forward the year earlier by the United Nations to divide the territory into a Jewish state occupying 62% of the former British Mandate and a separate Palestinian state was rejected by Arab leaders at the time. More than 750,000 Palestinians were driven from their homes in what is now known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. The PLO leadership later accepted the prospect of a two-state solution, but the failure of the Oslo peace process in 1993 and the United States attempts to broker a final deal at Camp David in 2000, leading up to a second intifada, the mass Palestinian uprising, have since resulted in the hardening of attitudes. What does it mean? The Palestinian and Israeli observers like different interpretations over the meaning of the slogan hang on the term free. Nimr Sultani, a lecturer in the Law School of the Oriental and African Studies (SOAS) in London, said the adjective expresses the need for equality for all inhabitants of historical Palestine. Those who support apartheid and Jewish supremacy will find the egalitarian chant objectionable, Sultani, a Palestinian citizen of Israel, told Al Jazeera. Freedom here refers to the fact that Palestinians have been denied the realization of their right to self-determination since Britain granted the Jews the right to establish a national homeland in Palestine through the Balfour Declaration of 1917. This continues to be the crux of the problem, the ongoing denial of Palestinians to live in equality, freedom, and dignity like everyone else. Okay. And I guess they used to have the territory from the river to the sea. Let's go to Abby Martin in Israel holy shit. Israelis speak candidly to Abby Martin about Palestinians. Here's the one that like really
in the occupation, things needs to be more human.
Do you get called a leftist a lot?
Yeah, and I am a leftist.
Is leftist a slur sometimes?
Yes, it is. It is not a good, not a.
So this thing, Abby Martin talking about Palestine, it sheds light on this like very harsh, very like it shows like the sort of like cruelty that the Palestinians are going through in Israel.
Good way to be called in Israel.
Israel doesn't want to compromise on security. They have to do a blockade. They have to kind of cut this off. It's, you know, it's ridiculous what people have to go through there, but it's also ridiculous what we have to do to keep ourselves safe.
We don't want to fight with them. But if they ask for it, they will get it. And we're much stronger, much stronger. We are behave very gently and morally. Very
Gently and morally. If I go back, hold on. Let me duplicate this.
What we have to do.
Pause. Go back. Genocidal onslaught on Gaza. Okay.
Israel is at war in an unprovoked.
And my question to the international community and Americans, how many kids? How many kids will it take for you to have your humanity? 3,000, 5,000, 10,000? How many babies do you need to see dead and pulled out of rubble?
All right, that's a little intense. Probably one for me. Probably, well, maybe not one. Maybe not one. Maybe like two babies. Two babies. I'm trying to interject some levity here. Sometimes, just going down the list, Syria happens to be. You know what? I'm talking about Israel and Palestine. I'm not even talking about Syria anymore. But this is relevant news. She doesn't like what she's saying.
For you to have a basic human empathy and dignity as a human being. How many kids?
Hello everyone, I'm Rania Kalik and this is Dispatches. Israel's genocide in Gaza has shocked.
Dispatches like they're dispatching them kids. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Trying to make this a little bit lighter. Yeah, I got sucked into the whole Israel-Palestine thing on this episode. Let's get back to Syria. I am curious about these things. CIA spy on the World War III timeline. I mean, I don't think this guy's like that legit. But let's find out. Let's just see what happens.
This to me goes back to what I did not expect to be the theme of this conversation, but how hilariously predictable humans are. So
focused on preserving the ideals of Alexander Hamilton and the founding fathers, who all believed that a strong United States meant a strong world, because they saw and lived through the oppression of living under a monarchy, right? If you look at the top 5 wealthiest countries in the world right now.
Okay, so he just said strong United States means a strong world. That's the Alexander Hamilton Society. And there was recently a play about Alexander Hamilton. I don't want to sound all conspiracy theory like. I don't want to be that guy. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Thinking for myself, here's some things that I'm noticing. And this is an idea I had months ago, which was that maybe if there was a big, overseer, kind of like I'm saying about Joe Rogan in comedy. If there was a Joe Rogan of the world, if you will, like a big, overpowering, tattooed, sidekick throwing daddy that can just kind of take over and tell everyone what's what, I think that maybe we could actually get our shit together. We as a whole community, there would be a worldwide community. And that goes to the fear of this thing called the world government. But isn't that kind of what we were hoping for? Like when I was a kid, that's like, oh, there should be. What if we all work together? But we can't all work together. This is what working together looks like. One has to be on top. There has to be an alpha. It seems like, and not like an Andrew Tate alpha. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, like there needs to be an alpha to tell everyone else to shut the fuck up. There can't be contention. There can't be a left and a right arguing. There can't be bullshit. You know? It's like a household. Like, who gets the final say? Like, in a lot of ways, like, the mother will get the final say because the mom, in regards to like family stuff, moms will want things to be a way and they'll make everyone else's life hell if they don't get it. And so the father just goes, okay, you want it this way? We'll go that way, but we're going to go that way my way. You know, you want, you know, you want to redo the house. We're going to redo the house my way, and I'll make it happen. Which is a stupid example, but you know what I mean. I think this is a part of the restructuring of the world that is inevitable, you know? I think this sort of restructuring in these wars were bound to happen. They like a lot of things on this planet are band-aid solutions, and normally we wouldn't even hear about it. Like, why is it that everyone in North America knows about a war like on the other side of the planet? How are we really being affected how are we profiting off of it? Like, how is it that we're sending materials and goods halfway across the world? And it's good in the way of like we can be humanitarians and help people. We really can't help everyone on the planet, but that means we can also fuck with everyone on the planet, and that's not good. It's not good to fuck with everyone on the planet, but we're the biggest guy. America is the Joe Rogan of the planet. And you know, Russia's Carlos Mencia. China's Carlos Mencia. Because they copy our shit. I think a lot of these fights were bound to happen. Ukraine and Russia. And normally Russia would just squash Ukraine and that would be over. And it's just like, fuck you, deal with it. Because that's the way that it's been for most of this world. You either fight until the very last man and you die, or you capitulate. And this is like, I think we're starting to face these sort of artificial situations, even more artificial than like stuff that we've seen in history, where like the Romans would do shit like this, where they would support one of the enemies of their enemies, and then they would fight, and then they'd beat them both. So this was bound to happen. So who's the enemy of our enemy? Who's the enemy of Russia? Who's another enemy of Russia? Actually, I'm actually curious about this. Enemies of Russia. Go away. Enemies, the U.S. Okay, let's do the same thing. Enemies of Israel. Can I look that up here? 1 second. Okay, how about Palestine? China's diplomatic efforts in the Middle East? Okay, that's how I need to look at it. I need to look at it as commerce. Okay. Oh, whoops. I'm still big. Okay, so what is the term for that? Who are like major exporters? People, no, how do I find trade partners of countries? Trade Commission? Okay. No. Trade and value by partner countries. Actually, that's the direction of trade statistics. This is what I want. Here we go. Because you just gotta find money. Just gotta exports by areas and countries. This is very boring. Watch these loading screens with me. You're learning a lot about Syria, huh? Okay. Let's go to Russia. Why can't I find Russia? Okay, Russian Federation. I don't know what this means. I don't know how to read this. Exports to partner countries. There's no... I need more data. Okay, this was a failure. If you're watching this or you're listening to this and you know how to find this data, please find me on social media at the Anthony Martin on Instagram. Leave a comment under the YouTube video at Pandering Hour. Comments on Spotify are turned on. Please help me. I'm too wrapped up in this whole Israel-Palestine thing, and it's too confusing and it's too complicated for me to pay attention to. So why don't we lighten things up and just get back to Syria? This is how dark it got. We had to lighten things up. We're talking about Syria. Fucking Syria. It's bordering Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey. Syria. Syria is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Human remains have been found in the region dating back to around... Oh, wow, really? almost a million years old. Year-old remains in Syria? The discovery was made at Greece's oldest site where ancient humans were thought to exist. It also pushes the Greek archaeology record back by as much as 250,000 years. Human remains. Untouched tomb in Syria. Okay. An ancient untouched tomb of what might be royalty from one of the world's first city-dwelling civilizations has been found in Syria, containing human and animal remains, gold and silver treasures, and unbroken artifacts that have not been disturbed for about 4,300 years. The tomb was discovered, well, this isn't like almost 1,000,000 years old. This is it. Okay. What the fuck is this? I don't know. I don't want to. No, not National Geographic. Ah! You fucked me. History Channel. Ancient Syria. The oldest human remains found in Syria date back to roughly 700,000 years ago. Archaeologists have uncovered skeletons and bones of Neanderthals that lived in the region during this period. I want to see what the world looked like. What was the ice and the green like 700,000 years ago? World composition. Don't know how to spell that. 1,000,000 years ago. Atmospheric. Images. What Earth looked like 1,000,000 years ago. Okay, that's what I want to see. Map. I can't read any of this shit. I need someone who can explain this fucking shit to me. If you're an archaeologist who listens to this podcast because you're a fucking moron, please call me. My phone number is 512. No. Okay. I tried. I'm trying to lighten things up. Back up. The name Syria comes from Assyria, an ancient kingdom in the northern Mesopotamia at the center of one of the great empires of the ancient Middle East. It was located in modern-day Iraq and southeastern Turkey. Nice. During the ancient times, Syria was occupied and ruled by several empires, including the Egyptians, the Hittites, Sumerians, Mitanni, Assyrians, Babylonians, Canaanites. Damn, you're getting fucked by everybody. If you're Syrian and you're listening to this, your moms got banged by the Egyptians, the Hittites, the Sumerians, the Mitanni, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Armenians. Oh shit, the Armenes. Armenians? Armenians? I was like, the Armenians? Those guys looked... Listen, I grew up, my hometown is Burbank. We're right next to Glendale. Glendale has the highest population of Armenians in the world. Some of those dudes look like cavemen. I'm gonna do some Googling right now. Armenians. Images. Big facts. Big fucking facts. Yeah, this is exactly what Armenians look like. Because they are. Yep, dad's bald. Blue eyes. What's like... there was this one guy. I think about him every once in a while. His name was Vahe. He went to Burbank High School, same age as me, and he just had the best grades. He was like one of the most athletic dudes you've ever seen. Probably like 5'10", stacked, like crazy stacked, just built. And he was just like, he was kind too, but he had like a hard look about him. like just like always sort of just like just rough looking. And yeah, I just think about him all the time. And he looked like the peak specimen of human being. Him and this other guy, I can't remember what his name is, but he works for a bank now. We were thinking he was gonna go to the NFL because he was like just an insane athlete, stupid jacked. But yeah, Vahe was another one of those. Vahe was Armenian. Vahe was Armenian. Vahe was Armenian. He converted. No, he's still Armenian. But yeah, he fucked your mom if you're Syrian. For over 400 years, Syria was part of the Ottoman Empire. Syria is the oldest library in the world. In 1974, the ancient city of Elba was discovered around 1800 clay tablets dating from around 3000 BC. I would love to see that. Discoveries found in... What is that? Libraries? Elba Library Discoveries. Royal Archives of Elba. Okay, during the summer of 1974, archaeologists at the excavation of the largest tell in Syria, Tel Mardik, in the process of removing debris from an ancient Sumerian palace, discovered 42 clay tablets that appeared to be part of a palace archives. Subsequent work during the next 3 years resulted in discovering some 20,000 clay tablets and their identification as Royal Archives of Elba. Scholars have learned from these tablets and other archaeological evidence that Elba, which is 150 miles northeast of Beirut and 50 miles east of the Mediterranean, was the capital city of the Sumerian Empire, the north-central Syria, that had been founded in 2900 BCE and had flourished in the latter part of the 3rd millennium BCE. Well, tell me what you found. Tell me what you found. Records in our fight. It was the desire to keep track of their busy economic commercial life that led the Elbates not only to create an extensive bureaucracy, but also to create and maintain records. It was for the same reason that Sumerians around the 1300 BCE developed writing and began keeping records. The first such texts that can be read date from perhaps 2900 BCE and are in Sumerian language. Written on clay tablets in cuneiform, the term cuneiform is derived from the Latin crunis, meaning wedge, and is used to identify those systems of writing in which graphic signs are composed on clay tablets. Although this form of writing was generally discontinued by 500 BCE, examples of it exist for the next 500 years. By the early 1980s, archaeologists had uncovered 4 archives of the... Can you just tell me what it's about? Jesus Christ. What? What is that about? Is there anything about... Wait, a flood. Oh. Oh. Fuck yeah. Regarding the information contained in Elba's tablets, archaeologists and others have provided us with valuable insights. The tablets consist of legal, executive, administrative, military, economic, lexical, and literary texts, as well as academic exercises. Bear with me, people. We're getting to something big. The legal texts include judicial decisions and contracts. Fuck you. The military texts include correspondence concerning military actions and use of mercenaries and the status of prisoners of war. That's interesting. The executive texts include royal ordinances and edits, letters of state and officials, lists of cities subject to Elba, and treaties. Administrative texts including payroll listings, tribute payments listings, lists of rations for the royal family, functionaries and messengers traveling from other city-states, the personnel assignments, list of professions, stone, bird, and monolingual and bilingual dictionaries of vocabularies. Yes, dude, that's badass. If it's a dictionary and vocabularies, that means that we can use the information found in these tablets to decipher other forms of text that we might not have prior. That's a big deal. One bilingual text contains approximately 1,000 words of Elbaite listed in columns and in parallel columns, the meanings of the word being given in Sumerian. The literary texts include myths, epic narratives, hymns to gods, incantations, rituals, and collections of proverbs. Among the literary texts are a creation story, an account of the flood. Yes! 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 The flood is fire, man. I don't know if you've ever looked at, like, the shit surrounding the flood, but, like, every major religion talks about the flood. There are archaeological evidences of the flood. The flood happened. Noah's Ark, that flood, fucking happened. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Okay, I'm hyped about that. The largest collection of texts and economic, commercial related, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if it's about fucking nonsense. Tell me the cool shit. Okay, it just goes on to talk about how cool it was that they were able to write on clay. Lessons of Alba, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there. This has been a fun episode. It's been a dark episode. It's been a sad episode. I'd call it at about like 4 babies. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.